Which version of Cristiano Ronaldo do you think was the best? Some say it was the early, explosive years in Madrid. Others point to the three-peat era where he became an inevitable force of nature. But for many, no football player in history comes close to the 2007-8 version of Ronaldo at Manchester United. At 23 years old, he was the deadliest winger the world had ever seen. He was a physical marvel, too fast to catch, too strong to bully, and possessing a vertical leap that seemed to defy gravity. But to understand how he became this terrifying figure, we have to start at a beginning that was more impossible than it seems. This is a story of a boy who had to beg for food and sweep the streets, a boy whose heart literally tried to stop him before he even began. February 5, 1985, Cristiano Ronaldo was born on the Portuguese island of Madeira. He was the youngest of 4 children, but he was almost not born at all. His family was drowning in poverty, and his father, Dinas, was an alcoholic former soldier who had returned from the war in Angola with deep mental scars. His mother, Maria Dolores, already struggling to feed 3 children, sought an abortion. When doctors refused, she tried home remedies, drinking warm beer and running for miles praying for a different outcome. But fate had a plan. Ronaldo grew up sharing a single room with all his siblings. His mother worked as a cook and a cleaner, and young Cristiano would often help her sweep the streets to make ends meet. His only escape was a ball made of rags. He would skip school and skip meals just to play on the dusty roads of his hometown. He was nicknamed Crybaby because he would burst into tears whenever he lost. That hatred of losing became his greatest weapon. By age 7, his father got a job as a kitman for a local club, Andorinha. Cristiano stood out immediately, earning the nickname Abelinho or Little B because of his tiny frame and electric speed. His first big transfer happened at age 10 to Nacional. The fee, just 20 footballs and some kits for his old team. It was the bargain of the century. By 12, Sporting Lisbon came calling. He had to leave his family and move 1,000 kilometers away to the mainland. Life in Lisbon was a nightmare. He was bullied for his thick accent. He was so poor he would wait outside McDonald's at 11 p.m. for leftover burgers. At 15, his world nearly collapsed when he was diagnosed with tachycardia, a heart condition where his heart beat too fast even while resting. Sporting risked it all on a laser surgery to cauterize his heart. Days later, he was back on the pitch. Within a year, he became the first player in Sporting history to play for the U16, U17, U18 B team, and senior team all in one season. In August 2003, Manchester United came to Lisbon for a friendly. Ronaldo played so well that the United players begged Sir Alex Ferguson to sign him on the flight home. Ferguson didn't just sign him, he gave the 18-year-old the legendary number 7 shirt. His debut against Bolton was legendary. George Best called it the most exciting debut he had ever seen, but the English media were harsh. They called him a show pony for his endless stepovers. Even his teammates were frustrated. Ruud van Nistelrooy once snapped at him in training, a verbal attack so brutal it made Ronaldo cry. Ferguson, seeing Ronaldo as a son, eventually sold Van Nistelrooy to protect the boy's growth. Then came 2006, the year he became the most hated man in England. After his wink following Wayne Rooney's red card at the World Cup, fans burned his effigy. He wanted to leave, but Ferguson convinced him to stay. He returned a monster. He hit the gym, ignored the boos, and in 2007-8, he delivered the greatest individual season in Premier League history. 42 goals, a Champions League title in Moscow. His first Ballon d'Or. He had conquered England, but a bigger dream was calling: Real Madrid. In 2009, Ronaldo moved to Madrid for a world record £80 million. 80,000 people packed the Bernabeu just to see him walk out. This began a decade-long war with Lionel Messi. At first, it was hard. Pep Guardiola's Barcelona was the greatest team ever assembled. Ronaldo's first season was plagued by injury, and he was outscored by Messi, but everything changed when Jose Mourinho arrived. Mourinho turned Ronaldo into a goal machine. In 2012, they broke the Barcelona dynasty, winning La Liga with a record 100 points. But the obsession in Madrid was La Decima, the 10th European Cup. In 2014, Ronaldo finally delivered it, scoring in the final. This sparked the greatest run in modern football history. Between 2016 and 2018, Ronaldo led Real Madrid to 3 consecutive Champions League titles. He was no longer just a winger, he was the greatest clutch player in history. By the time he left in 2018, he had 450 goals in 438 games. He had averaged more than a goal per game for nearly a decade. For years, critics said he couldn't win with Portugal. In 2016, that changed. Though he was injured in the final against France, he spent the game on the touchline, coaching and screaming at his teammates. Portugal won. He had his international trophy. He followed it up with a second Nations League title, proving his longevity. Even as he moved to Juventus and eventually returned for an emotional, albeit messy, second stint at Manchester United, his hunger never faded. Critics said his career ended when he moved to Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. They were wrong. Midway through his first full season, he hit 10 goals in 9 games. By the end of the season, he was the league's top scorer with 25 goals, outperforming younger stars like Ivan Toney. His impact wasn't just on the pitch, his presence turned the Saudi Pro League into a global talking point. His international form stayed elite, too. He led Portugal to the Nations League finals again, scoring a massive winner in the semi-final against Germany. Even an injury in the final against Spain couldn't dampen the fact that at 40 years old, he was still the king. Now, at 40, Ronaldo has signed a new 2-year deal with Al Nassr, a contract that includes an ownership stake in the club. He has more money than he could ever spend, but that's not what drives him. In his mind, there is only one thing: the summer of 2026. He is preparing for one last World Cup, one last shot to complete the most decorated career in the history of the sport. From a boy sweeping the streets of Madeira with a heart defect to a global icon with 5 Ballon d'Ors and over 800 career goals, the story of Cristiano Ronaldo is a testament to the power of obsession. He didn't just want to be a professional, he wanted to be the greatest to ever live. And as he looks toward 2026, he's still not finished. Cristiano Ronaldo, the king of the game, prepares for his final act.